Hello again folks, and welcome back to this episode in my mini-series exploring the long-distance footpaths and heritage railways of Norfolk. And today I'm here in Hoveton and Wroxham at the start of the Bure Valley mini railway between Wroxham, Hoveton and Aylsham. It's approximately 14.5 kilometres or 9 miles. So let's get cracking and let's see what we can see. Oh yeah. I've just left Hoveton and Wroxham railway station and I'm following the Bure Valley Railway, which is a minimum gauge of 15 inches or 381 millimetres. It's the longest sub-standard gauge railway in the whole of Norfolk. There are 17 bridges and 1 tunnel, and it's the only railway tunnel that's in use in the whole of Norfolk. The railway is built on the track bed of the East Norfolk Railway, or the ENR, and it started in 1877. And once the main line had opened between Norwich and Cromer, they decided to build a branch line between Hoveton, Wroxham and Aylsham. And that line was opened in 1880. The ENR was shortly taken over by the Great Eastern Railway in 1882. Over my right shoulder is the old Air Force base of Royal Air Force Coltishall, or RAF Coltishall, and it opened in 1938. But unlike all the other RAF stations in the country, which are named after the local railway station, RAF Coltishall would have been called RAF Buxton because it was closest to the Buxton railway station. In order not to get confused with Buxton in Derbyshire, they named it after the local village. Thus, RAF Coltishall. We're just coming up to the first stop on the Bure Valley Railway, and these stops are known as Halts. This one is at the village of Coltishall. Just behind me, over the embankment, is the approach path to one of the runways at RAF Coltishall. RAF Coltishall was a fighter airfield during the Second World War, and after that it was a station for night fighters and ground attack aircraft. The motto for RAF Coltishall was aggression in defence, recognising that the role of the aircraft was defence of the nation. The last Jaguars to fly out of RAF Coltishall was in April 2006, before it was sold to Norfolk County Council for £4 million. The land is now used for a variety of interests. There's a small industrial estate, there's HM Prison Bure, and there's also a massive solar panel farm. Here's another location where the track splits into two so that the locomotives can pass each other. Now approaching the second halt, the Holt of Buxton. Unfortunately, it's clouded over a little bit and I can feel a spot of rain, so I think that's my cue to pull over, have a brew and some lunch. Brampton. I've got here my new stove. It's really tiny. comes in its own little carry case. There it is, the LIXADA stove. It's a dual fuel system. You can put a spirit stove in the top, which is what I'm going to do today, or you can also use it as a little mini wood burning stove. And that is super small and lightweight. That weighs just 250 grams, and that's a nothing at all. Weather can't make its mind up. 1 minute it's sunny, then it's cloudy and overcast, a little bit of rain. But one thing it is consistent, and that is windy. So I'm at the third of the 3 stops along the Bure Valley Railway. The first is Coltishall, then it's Buxton, and this is Brampton. So I'm going to pack away my lunch stuff now and press on to Aylsham, where I will conclude this journey. Another one of the bridges. Yeah, this is a fantastic track, absolutely ideal for a mountain bike or a gravel bike, but if you don't have that, you could come down on your regular bike, I suppose, or a hybrid, but it's probably not very good to come down on your best road bike. If you fancy doing the trip between Hoveton, Wroxham and up to Aylsham, there's some fantastic little lanes, and I did a bike packing video on such a trip following the Bure River Valley. And if you want to check that out in my other video, there's some great routes up there, some lovely lanes and back streets. So that's it, folks. I'm approaching Aylsham station. Just over my right shoulder is the tunnel that you go through under the main Cromer Road. According to the literature, that's the only functional tunnel in Norfolk. So there's something. So folks, that really is the end of the line for me, the end of the Bure Valley Miniature Railway, ending here in beautiful market town of Aylsham. By the way, just over the way there is a Tesco's, which is a really handy place for your resupplies if you elect to come out and do all of these routes all in one go. So I'm on the Marriott Way now. This is the beginning of the Marriott Way, which loops all the way back to Norwich. So hopefully I'll be doing a video on this route shortly. For now though, thanks for watching and take care.